I stared at the documents spread across my kitchen table, my hands trembling as I read through them again. Birth certificates, old letters, bank statements, pieces of a puzzle I'd never known existed until now. My name is Emma Collins, and 2 weeks ago I lost my mother to cancer. Today, I discovered that everything I knew about my family was a lie. You should have seen your face at the will reading. Tyler's voice dripped with satisfaction over the phone. Did you really think Mom would leave anything to you? After how you abandoned the family business? I let my stepbrother gloat, barely listening as he detailed his inheritance, the luxury home in Beverly Hills, the successful art gallery our mother had built from scratch, even my father's precious watch collection. Everything I'd grown up with, everything that held memories of my childhood, now belonged to the son of my mother's second husband. Are you even listening, Emma? Tyler demanded. Actually, I said, my voice steady despite the storm brewing inside me. I'm looking at some interesting documents right now. Did you know that Mom wasn't the original owner of the gallery? There was a pause. What are you talking about? Of course she was. She started it 30 years ago. No, I said, picking up one of the yellowed papers. My father did. Thomas Wright, the same Thomas Wright who apparently disappeared with millions in stolen artwork back in 1992, the year before Mom married your father. The silence on the other end was deafening. I found the box in my father's old storage unit, the one Mom had always claimed contained nothing but worthless junk. Inside were letters between my parents, detailed records of art purchases, and most importantly, the original ownership documents for Wright Gallery, named after my father, not my mother, as she always claimed. But it was the newspaper clippings that really caught my attention. Headlines about a massive art heist, millions in paintings stolen from prominent collectors. The prime suspect? Thomas Wright, who vanished without a trace, leaving behind a wife and 4-year-old daughter. You're lying, Tyler said finally, but I could hear the uncertainty in his voice. Here's what's interesting, I continued, spreading out more documents. The gallery's early financial records show massive cash deposits right after Dad disappeared. Mom somehow managed to buy hundreds of thousands in inventory when she was supposedly starting from nothing. Care to explain that? Stop digging, Tyler snapped. The will is final. Whatever conspiracy theory you're cooking up won't change anything. But he was wrong. As an art fraud investigator for the FBI, I knew exactly what these documents meant. The gallery's entire foundation was built on stolen art and laundered money. My mother hadn't just changed her will. She'd spent 30 years hiding the truth about where her success came from. The question was, how much did she tell my stepfather? And how much did Tyler know? I was about to find out. The next morning, I walked into the gallery, my father's gallery, for the first time since the will reading. The staff greeted me cautiously, clearly aware of my disinheritance. Tyler's new office, once my mother's sanctuary, had already been redecorated with his tacky modern art pieces. You're not welcome here, he said when I entered, not looking up from his computer. Actually, I replied, setting a file on his desk, I am. The FBI is very interested in the gallery's original funding sources, particularly the Vermeer that hung in Mom's office for 20 years, the one that disappeared from a private collection in Amsterdam in 1992. That got his attention. Get out, he hissed, standing up so quickly his chair toppled backward. You have no idea what you're doing. Don't I? I pulled out my FBI badge. I think I know exactly what I'm doing. The question is, do you know what you've inherited? The color drained from his face as realization dawned. He wasn't just inheriting a successful business. He was inheriting 30 years of criminal activity, and I had proof of all of it. The gallery's security cameras caught every detail of Tyler's meltdown. He swept everything off his desk, years of carefully maintained composure shattering in seconds. You think you can just walk in here with your badge and destroy everything? He shouted. Mom protected this place for decades. Protected it? I picked up a framed photograph from the floor. My parents on the gallery's opening night. She built this place with stolen art and laundered money. And now you're implicated. Tyler's laugh was borderline hysterical. You don't get it, do you? Why do you think she cut you out of the will? She knew you'd find out eventually. She was protecting you. That stopped me cold. What? He slumped into his chair. She knew what you did for a living. She knew you'd never stop digging if you inherited any part of this. So she made sure you wouldn't have to choose between family loyalty and your precious career. The revelation hit me like a physical blow. My mother's last act hadn't been about favoring Tyler. It had been about keeping me clean. But it was too late now. As if on cue, my phone buzzed. A text from Agent Martinez. Documents confirmed. Operation is go. I turned back to Tyler. I got news for you. Mom's protection just ran out. Within hours, the gallery was swarming with FBI agents. Every piece of artwork was being cataloged, every financial record seized. Tyler sat in handcuffs, watching as 30 years of secrets were exposed. The investigation revealed more than just stolen art. The gallery had been a front for an international money laundering operation. My father hadn't just disappeared. He built a network of art thieves and black market dealers, with my mother managing the legitimate front. Your mother was brilliant, Agent Martinez said, reviewing the files. She used the gallery to clean millions in dirty money. Every sale, every purchase perfectly documented to look legitimate. I thought about all the times I'd watched her work, meticulously maintaining her records. She taught me the importance of attention to detail, of protecting what was ours. I just never knew what we were really protecting. The evidence stretched back decades. The Vermeer was just the beginning. Dozens of stolen masterpieces had passed through the gallery, each one carefully laundered and resold to unsuspecting collectors. Then we found the safe. Hidden behind a false wall in my mother's office was a steel vault I'd never known existed. Inside were more documents and a letter addressed to me. My dearest Emma, it began. If you're reading this, then you've discovered the truth. I'm sorry for the lies, for the burden I've placed on you. But there's something else you need to know. The letter shook in my hands as I read on. My father wasn't just a thief. He was alive, and my mother had been protecting him all along. The letter trembled in my hands as I read my mother's final confession. Your father is in Geneva. The art, the money, it was all to protect him. Tyler's father, James, discovered the truth years ago and blackmailed us. That's why I married him. That's why Tyler had to inherit everything, to keep the secrets buried. But now you need to finish why I couldn't. The proof is in the Monet. I knew exactly which Monet she meant. Water lilies at sunset, the centerpiece of the gallery's main hall. I'd always wondered why she refused to sell it, even when offered millions. The painting, when carefully examined by the FBI's art experts, revealed a hidden compartment in its frame. Inside was a USB drive containing 3 decades of transaction records. Every stolen piece, every laundered dollar, every player in the network, including my stepfather James. He wasn't just an innocent bystander who discovered the truth. He was the mastermind behind the entire operation. My father had been his fall guy, forced into hiding while James took control through my mother. Tyler's world collapsed when the evidence came to light. His father wasn't the successful businessman he'd idolized. He was a criminal who destroyed 2 families to protect his empire. The arrest came swiftly. James was caught trying to flee the country. The art network crumbled as everyone scrambled to make deals. Even Tyler cooperated, hoping to avoid his father's fate. But I had one more trip to make. Geneva was beautiful in the spring. The cafe where I found him overlooked Lake Geneva, its waters sparkling in the morning sun. My father, older, grayer, but unmistakable, sat reading a newspaper. "Hello, Dad," I said, sliding into the chair across from him. He looked up, unsurprised. "I knew you'd figure it out eventually. You always were too smart for your own good." We talked for hours, about the theft that went wrong, about James's manipulation, about my mother's sacrifice to protect us both, about 30 years of lies and loss. "I wanted to come back," he said finally, "but James made sure that was impossible." Your mother? She did what she had to do. The evidence I'd uncovered was enough to clear my father's name, proving he'd been coerced by James. He returned to the States, testified against the organization, and helped recover millions in stolen art. The gallery was seized by the FBI, its legitimate assets sold to repay the victims. Tyler accepted a plea deal, acknowledging his unwitting role in the scheme. James faced multiple life sentences. My mother's final letter was admitted as evidence, revealing how she'd been trapped between protecting her husband and protecting her daughter. Her last act, cutting me out of the will, had been her way of giving me the freedom to uncover the truth without being implicated. Today, I still work art fraud cases for the FBI, but with a different perspective. Every investigation reminds me that truth, like art, isn't always what it appears to be. Sometimes the most beautiful facades hide the darkest secrets. My father and I are rebuilding our relationship one coffee at a time. The weight of 30 years of secrets and lies lifts slowly, but it lifts. And my mother? I visit her grave sometimes, leaving white lilies, her favorite. I understand now that her greatest masterpiece wasn't the gallery or its hidden treasures. It was protecting the people she loved, even when it meant sacrificing everything else. Even when it meant sacrificing herself.